we talked about trust. Can you say trust with me? Yes, trust. And we were talking about how for men and women it means different things, right? When you say, I can't trust him anymore, I can't trust her anymore, it really does mean different things. And then we started on the S word. Turn to your neighbor and say, the S word. Yeah, we just dabbled on this S word, right? And it's another word in our series, but this S word is a very unpopular word in marriage. It's a word that we don't like to use. It's a word that we don't like to live. It's a word that we don't like to mention. It's a word that it's kind of like a bad word in this culture nowadays, right? The S word. Turn to your neighbor and say the S word. Now, this S word is not the word that you are thinking, but it pretty much for some means the same thing when you hear it, because it takes so much out of you. And that word is sacrifice. Now turn to your neighbor and say sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Right? Come on. Some of you guys are like, ugh. Who likes to sacrifice? It's kind of like when you're on a diet and then you go to an Italian restaurant and they put that warm bread on the table. And you're like, really? Well, everybody else is dipping it in olive oil and Parmesan cheese, and you have to sacrifice your want, or you go to a Mexican restaurant with that best salsa, the chips and salsa. And those are those things, of course, I'm just using it as an example, but right, you feel like this thing, like, when did I say yes to this? And sometimes in marriage, we get to that point where we look at each other and we're looking at that warm bread on the table, or we're looking at those yummy chips and salsa, and we're like, when did we say we would sacrifice my want, my need, my like for this other person? And John 5:13 says it so beautifully. It says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And John, the Amplified Version, says it this way: no one has greater love, nor stronger commitment than to lay down his own life for his friends. And I think that in this world, I have no best friend than my husband. And I know that I'm his best friend too. So this is not just your friend, your girlfriend, that person that you go shopping with or you tell all your things to. It's actually talking about your mate as well. Being that this is the greatest of loves. That when you're able to lay down your life, when you're able to sacrifice the me, the I, for the we, right? The me becomes the we.
For that reason, I will give you the first bullet point that you will, if you're taking notes, write this: for a marriage to work, it is vital that both the wife and the husband are willing to sacrifice for each other.
Yep.
I'm going to repeat that again. For a marriage to work, it is vital that both the wife and the husband are willing to sacrifice for each other. Now, this will never work if only one of the two is always doing it and not the other one. Has to be a two-way street. This is a commitment. She has to be able to sacrifice for me, and I have to be willing to sacrifice for her. Otherwise, it's never going to work. Never going to work. So if you're thinking why my marriage is not working, one of the areas, and it could be multiple, that's why we're doing 6 chapters, but this is one of the areas that you can check the pulse and why it's not working. Well, am I sacrificing for her, or is she sacrificing for me? And in all honesty, you have to ask you the question: am I sacrificing for her? It's not so much if she's doing it for me, but am I doing it? Remember, we don't try to change anybody, we're trying to change ourselves. So do not start putting a burden on your husband, on your wife. This is a university of marriage for you, not for your partner. So you go like this.
You're taking the course.
You're taking the course. You don't say, oh, I so much wish that she was here or he was here. No, this is for you. Yeah. Am I sacrificing for her? So as a man, I have to sacrifice my time, what I like to do, what I like to eat, the movies that I like to watch, the cars that I would love to drive. Anything, because we have to be able to
lay down your life.
So many times I said, oh man, I so want to do this, or I want to buy this, or I want to write this. And it's not that I'm like, hindered of doing everything and anything that I would like to do. No, but this is something that is a mutual sacrifice. And he says, okay, well now I really want to go see 21 Bridges, that movie that I love, action and police and
bullets,
guns and
bleeding,
all those kind of things.
Chasing.
I don't know, don't hate me. But anyways, that's what I like to watch, action movies, thriller movies. And then she comes with, well, I want to go see, I don't even know the names of, but anyways.
Valentine's movies, love movies. No, I like drama too, right?
But then probably I would never select one of those movies. But if I'm going to make it work, then I have to sacrifice. And then we have to balance and say, okay. And it's not like we're keeping counts on how many thriller movies have we watched or how many chick movies have we watched. No, it's something that it comes just natural now and organic. And when there's a good movie that I like to see, then she comes with me and see it and watch it. And when there's a movie that she likes to see, even if it's not my favorite, I will sacrifice and watch it with her, even if I'm taking a nap during that movie. But I'll be there for her.
Which he usually does, and I'm okay with it. At the beginning, I would get angry. And I'm like, we're watching this movie. But you know what? As long as he's there, he's napping, I don't care. I have my popcorn, I have my girl movie, and I have my man next to me. So I'm a happy woman. So girls, choose your battles, okay? Choose your battles. You got the guy there. It's okay, right? So come on, yeah. I promise you the first years, you're going to be like, you guys are going to use all your energy on really dumb stuff. And that's what people do. And it's like, no, use your energy, save your energy for what really counts. When you have to fight for your children, when you have to pray for your children, those nights you're crying, those nights you're intercessing, the nights that you're having to go out, or those days and the long hours and all this, that's what you want to save your energy for. Not, oh, you're not watching my movie. Like, those are just dumb stuff, right? And babe, doesn't it seem like also when, say like you decided to sacrifice things, and I'm kind of taking him for granted, say, that person starts to feel undervalued. And in reality, they'll do it. And just because they do it, just because they're there, doesn't mean that they're actually present. So they're still doing it, but what you're doing is you're taking out and you're leaving them in negative because they're serving and they're serving and they're serving. So be careful with that. Like if your wife or your husband is, a praying man or a God-fearing man or faithful, and you're just like, I got him wrapped around my little finger. He does everything I want, or she does this and she does that. And I'll just let her to go to church with the kids, or I'll just let him go to group with the kids. And you think that person's the one sacrificing. Later on, that person is so depleted, right? That person is so needing of attention. Then you're going to wake up and the devil is going to do you dirty. The devil is going to do you dirty, and you're going to ask why. And I'm going to tell you, because you took for granted what you should have appreciated. The person that's, leaving your towel there next to your shower, or make sure that at least whatever, you have something to eat, at least even if you order pollo loco like me, but hey, I order it, right? It's there. I heat it up for him. Whatever it is that you actually do for your spouse or your family. Come on, children. This is not just marriage. This is relationship university. Because sometimes as kids, we take our parents for granted. And I remember how many times my mom had made like caldo de res, which is like a beef stew, or she had made, some chilaquiles for breakfast and stuff. And I'm like, I'll just have cereal. I'll just have cereal. I just walk by her food, like just so unappreciative. And now I'm like, Mom, I'm coming for breakfast, right? Right? And because sometimes you just take for granted that person that is sacrificing everything for you. And we have to open our eyes and see what that other person is laying down for us. Can someone say amen to that?
In any relationship, we're going to have to be able to balance.
Yes.
And make it work. And many times it's not going to be easy, but you have to make it work. So when you make that decision, it's not like I said at the beginning of this series, is not going to be a feeling necessarily, but it's going to be a choice and a decision that I make. And what we do, what we participate, what we eat, what we watch, has to be something that we get to the point that we balance. And this really helps. What I like to eat, and you'll be surprised, many of you guys are having, and even different couples are having an issue about food, what we like to eat. And like my wife was saying, we have to choose our battles. Why are we fighting about what we're gonna eat? I know if I like sushi, then she'll have to compromise. Like for example, you don't like sushi, but she'll come and eat sushi with
My
me.
mouth likes sushi, my tummy doesn't. So when it hits my tummy, right? So I could eat it, but it's expensive to go and throw it up after, right, you guys? I'm like, so I just ordered
But then
some
she loves
noodles
to go.
or something.
She loves to go to La Mojarra Loca, which is one of the worst restaurants for me.
Babe, don't give them bad publicity. I love you, Mojarra Loca.
And I'll tell you,
for you
and I'll
and your
tell you why I
shrimp.
don't like it. Because I don't like to be crowded. I don't like to have that loud Mexican music. And I am Mexican, but there's a lot of different styles of music, and the style that they play there, it's the worst for me. And so I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And then they're cheap. They don't like to turn the AC like we keep it at church. So I'm sweating, and I hate to be sweating. But she loves to be sweating.
I don't care. I'll
eating those-
sweat for you, corn tortilla,
And so,
grilled shrimp,
but I'll
spicy
go with
salsa.
her. I'll go with her because I'm compromising. I'm saying we're gonna go to La Mojarra Loca, and I even have matured that. I enjoy going to La Mojarra Loca, even when they don't turn the AC and they're loud. And I'm almost taking an offering for them so they can turn their AC on when I'm going there. But you see, we have to balance our lives. We have to want to make each other happy and enjoyable. And instead of saying, I hate living with this guy, I hate living with this girl. No. It has to come to a point that it said, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice. And if you like La Mojarra Loca, and if you like whatever you like, I'll like it too. Because we want to be happy. And you're going to have to do this. One of the things that I have tried my best and have worked hard about it since we got married, at my house, she drives the newest and most luxurious cars, the car of the two of us. So if we have two cars, she will always drive the nicest, the most luxurious, the most expensive one, and I'll drive the less expensive.
We didn't get too many applause on that, but that's okay.
But I'm honest, this is something that it should work like that. It should be like that. And so.
Better than the cars our daughters drive.
Oh, yeah. My daughters will never drive a
I'm
better car
the
than
queen,
mom drives.
okay? I'm the queen. Yes, they are princesses. They'll be the queen of their own castle one day.
And in my case, I had to work even harder because I have 3 women in my life. My wife and 2 princesses.
He spends all his money on women.
Yes, I do.
Mayra, Nicole, and Isabella.
But I saw it like a challenge.
Yeah.
At our early stage, I saw it as a challenge. I said, I'm going to conquer. Because us men, I'm talking to the men for now, we're like gladiators. We like to accomplish things. We like to have challenges and conquer things. And I said, I'm going to try my best. I don't care how much I'm going to work and how I'm going to do it, and if I need to get a part-time or whatever I need to do, but I'm going to be able to provide everything for my 3 girls, and they're going to have a good car. They're not going to be having to pray in the morning. Hopefully the car starts in the morning. Hopefully it won't. No. I said, I'm going to try my best. And for a season of my life, I had to have 2 jobs and save and invest to be able to do it.
You actually used to install attics.
My husband, the access
to the attics. He would go and install those as a side job in order because we would say, okay, so we're going to save up for a new couch. And they say, how many attics do you have to install to get that? So everything that would come in, he'd bring it. I wouldn't go and spend it, girls. I would put it away, and then we would go out and we would buy things cash. And this is like where I'm talking about. I was 20 years old, and he was 24. He was working all day and still as a side job. He would go and do this because we had to do this together. It was something that we were building together. And when you see that, some people say, oh, we need to balance. You think 50-50? No. Sometimes it's not 50-50, mostly in the labor room, okay, guys? That is not 50-50. It's 10-90, right? And that's how life is sometimes. Sometimes it's 90% them, 10% us. It just depends on the situation. And it depends on the gifting that God has given you. So for example, his gifting, he's a man, he's a conqueror, he's this, he's the provider, he goes out. But come on, I'm the organizer. I'm the administrator. So in that, I'm the 90%. You know, I'm the one that, sometimes I was like, babe, nope, not because I want to rule over him, but because I need to administer where the money's going to go on certain things. And then I know what things, like this money, you could just, whatever you want to do with it, do it. So he's just like, because he's the shopper. He's the shopper, okay? And he's the one, you know, and he loves to give his girls good things, and he loves to do this. And I'm like, that's fine with this extra money. But this other money needs to be accounted for, right? So there has to be this teamwork, and it's not always 50-50, and it's okay. There's seasons in life where you cannot be frustrated because the other person can't give their 50. You know, and I'm talking about obviously in marriage things, they tell you it's 100%. Okay, I understand that. But what I'm talking about is that balance. Sometimes you're like, okay, you put in half the work, I'll put in half the work, right? So just make sure that you guys are not getting angry at each other because that person isn't able to do at that time. Like I find rest in him knowing that I go to the grocery store and I can pay for the food without having a problem. Like I find rest in that I can go get my nails done and I could swipe the credit card and there's gonna be funds. But he finds rest in knowing that he doesn't have to go to a teacher conference, that he doesn't have to go to a field trip, that he doesn't have to pack the lunches. Like there has to be this thing where we're working, you know, with each other to make the family better. So at the end of the day, we're better together.
We have found that the person who has the natural talent for certain things should be the person responsible for handling those issues. So it's not always the man that has to manage.
He does not buy our Christmas gifts.
I don't do it because I will do gift cards for everybody. And she doesn't like gift cards. She likes the touch of something that she chose.
I like stockings. I like Christmas gifts. I like wrapping. I like the tree. I like everything, right?
And for me, just give me a Sarah gift card and I'll be happy. But not,
I don't get it.
Work
I
for
don't
her.
get it.
So we have to find out who has that gift for what and then have that person run it. So there's always one that is better with money, one is better with organizing, one is better with timing, planning for the family, and so you know you need to find out who has the talent for what, who has the gift for that, and then make it work. Instead
of being frustrated and wanting to kill each other, right? If your husband is not good, and we talked about this week, like Valentine's, girls. Like Valentine's, and you want to kill him on the day you should love him because he didn't make the reservation, or he didn't do this, or he didn't get you what you wanted. I am so clear. I'm like, I want this for Valentine's Day. Like, this is what I want. And you know what I loved about him? And I actually had like this epiphany, or I had this revelation, or I don't know what you want to call it, when we were riding the horse this weekend. And I wanted to share it. I haven't even really talked to my husband about it. So we go up to the mountains for Zion Park because I have this wonderful idea, right, to go up to Zion Park for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, we're going to go. Is that okay? He's like, great idea, babe. I'm like, okay, you're paying for it, though, right? So we're going to Zion Park. It's going to be great. But my husband doesn't do well in cold. And I love it. I think it's romantic, right? So then I have this wonderful idea. Let's go horseback riding. Did anybody see the video or the pictures of our horseback riding? Amazing pictures. Amazing video. What you don't see is the temperature. Okay, that our fingers were about to fall off, and my toes. My legs were hurting to the bone. I don't know if it's because I'm 41 or what it was, but it was cold outside. I was praying for the horses while they were stepping in snow. I was praying, my heart hurt for them.
It was 34 degrees.
It was, yes, at 8 o'clock in the morning. because I had this wonderful idea. How romantic. To go on this sunrise horseback riding on Valentine's. And you know what? I saw my husband. I was freezing. I was freezing my butt off and everything else, my extremities. And I saw him, and he did not complain one bit. He didn't say anything. And when I saw him riding there in front of me, and I was thinking about him, and I said,
I thought about it.
yeah. He didn't complain. He took video, he took pictures of me.
No, she's asking me, can you take pictures? And I'm like, I don't want to put my hands out.
He couldn't even take his phone out. He was freezing.
I was freezing. I had to take my glove off to be able to do the iPhone.
He couldn't feel his fingers. Yeah. And you know what I thought on that horse? I was like, how amazing is my husband? Like, how amazing that he did this for me. But I'll never do it again.
No.
And I'll never ask him.
But hold on, she's only giving you half of the story. The other part is that we took Alex Campos and his wife and the kids, and Alberto and Tico. So it was four families all together. We stayed in cabins and ta-da-da-da. And then, so she has prepaid for the six of us, Alex, his wife, and the two kids, and the two of us to go on the horseback riding. Guess what? That morning, he texts me at 6:30 in the morning. He says, hey, Mario,
we're not going.
We're not going up. The kids didn't have a good sleep. And I'm like, you liar. I heard you snoring throughout the night. You got a good, but it was freezing. So that's why they decided not to go. So now we are going ourselves, paying for 6, and only riding 2.
No refunds. Thank you, Sagrario. No refunds. So
thank you for reminding me.
Yes, but so the point is that when I was on that horse, I had this revelation, and I was like, girl, you need to book a Cancun trip for your husband. Like, seriously, like
that was
you
from
need
God.
to, you need to make up for these frozen fingers. You need to make up for those toes, right? But you know what I loved? Because I think way back in the beginning of the marriage, I think we would have been angry at each other for that situation. He would have thrown it in my face. I would have felt guilty, and he had all the right to. He had all the right to, right? And I would have just felt like horrible because of this bad idea, and we just threw away all this money and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? At the end, neither of us said anything. We came back. We both climbed in a bed, and we were shivering, and we were holding each other. And, you know, and I was like, is he going to say something? Is he going to say something? He's going to say something. He never said anything. And I was like, and yes, guys, sometimes we just need to bite our tongue, right? Things don't turn out like they should, but we were together. We did it. I'll never ask you to do that again. I'll never ask you. Seriously, like, I understand now. He does not like the cold. He does not like the cold. Like, our vacations will be in the beach.
You take me to the ocean, and I'll be
or in the mountains in May or June.
Yeah.
We got it. We got a deal, honey.
So
and that's the way you do it. That is the way you do it. You're not always in agreement, but you have preferences, but you have to come together. And that's what it is to sacrifice.
Write this. A healthy marriage is one where you can trust that you will not abandon one another in the face of anger, conflict, or disagreements. Write it down. Because
no soldier left behind.
Nope. I couldn't abandon that plan that she had.
But we don't abandon each other. Right, you guys? A healthy marriage is one that you can trust, that you will not abandon one another. That person next to you will be there, even if you're riding a horse in the mountains of Zion Park at 8 a.m. and you're freezing all your extremities off. You know what? If we're doing this together. If you guys had to declare bankruptcy, you both had to declare bankruptcy. If you both lost the house, you both lost the house. But guess what? You both are going to buy the house. You both are going to restore what the devil wanted to steal. You both are going to laugh together about those stories later on. And not just both, the family. The family sticks together. And that's what we do. Are we always in agreement? No. Sometimes my girls do things I'm not in agreement with, but you know what? They are our girls, and that's what we do because we're mom and dad. We are not divorcing each other. We are not doing a plan B. We are not seeing if the grass is greener on the other side. We're watering our grass. We're fertilizing it, even if sometimes you got to use manure, right? Another S word.
Yes. For those of you guys that are taking this as a class and you want the certificate, we're going to put on screen the phone number where you need to text right now the word that we're going to put in the on screen. Text it now so we can take attendance of the ones that are getting the certificate. So the word that it's in that orange line, put your name, so Gregory and Cindy, and then you put that word, text it to that number, and we know that you were present.
Well, marriage is so similar to magnets. Opposites really do attract. So if your magnet is sitting next to you, that person is your opposite, right? That is your opposite.
Two different species, two different brains, two different kinds, a female and a male. But when you sacrifice for each other, hear me out. If you are willing to sacrifice, and so many times you're not going to feel it, but you have to decide to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sacrifice for her. I'm going to do and try to make the best of this trip. I'm not going to be a crying baby. I'm not going to be a complainer. I'm going to make the best of these. I mean, we can make it work. You have to make a decision in your life.
Yeah.
Am I willing to sacrifice for her?
And babe, how many times are you sitting next to that person you think you're the only couple going through this struggle? You're thinking everyone else, oh my gosh, they just seem to work so well. Because we're the opposite. Because we are the opposite. Opposites do attract. What do you do when a bird falls in love with a fish?
A rabbit with a turtle.
Right? The rabbit and the turtle in many ways.
And I'm telling you, I married Mayra so she can save me of me.
Yes.
I don't know if you get that.
Yes.
I marry my wife so she can save me of me. Because I'm a non-stop person. I'm an overthinker. I'm an achiever. But I need somebody to bring peace into my life and say, hey, you need to take a nap. Hey, you need to have a day off.
Yeah. And I married him for him to save me from me too. A lot of people see that I'm very outgoing or outspoken, but in reality, I'm the type of person that even though I like to teach, I do like to teach, but it does drain me. It drains me. At the end of a Sunday, for example, I come home and I need to take a bath. I need to hear a devotional. When I go to like spiritual retreats, mostly like the last one with the youth, I think I spent like 2 days crying after the retreat. It drains me. And this type of stuff actually feeds him. It like he's sick and he can come to church and preach, and he can preach the sickness out of his body. And I'm sick, I want to be in bed. I want you to give me my medicine and to feel sorry for me and put like soothing music and put some oil, healing oil on me and stuff like that, and Vicks on the bottom of my feet, you know? Like I want that, I need that. And I need time, and like, so we go away with our friends, for example, and I love it, and I'll do everything. I'm like, yeah, do. But then I want to come home, and I just don't want anybody to touch me or look at me or ask me anything or ask me to pray for them or anything like that, because I'm done, right? Because that's my personality. He comes home, and he's like, everybody come over. Let's do this. Let's grill some more meat while he's washing, while he's cleaning, while he's doing the motorcycles, while he's going to fit. I mean, I'm like, what is wrong with him? Like, I look at him, and if I can't be him, but I can visit his world. And he can't be me, but he can love and visit my world, right? But what we do, though, guys, and with this, we're going to come to a close, but what we do is that very thing that attracted me to him, wow, sometimes it's that very thing that irritates the heck out of me now. If your spouse is irritating the heck out of you, don't raise your hand, please. Do not raise your hand. But there's those things that used to be cute. You know, they used to be cute. They used to be like, and I use this as an example. He has an ear fetish, and he's addicted to my ears. And if he, my cheeks, and if he could, and now I'm like, did you wash your hands? I look at him and I tell him that. I'm like, and then I catch myself. I'm like, ugh, why am I being so annoying? Why I used to be like, oh, he's touching my ears, all right? When we were dating, I'm like, oh, he's touching my ears. And now I'm like, can you get off of my ears? Like, you know, and the very thing that attracted me to him now annoys me. And it happens to us. And guys, girls, family, it can be annoying you that the very thing that your mom used to protect you, that used to, you know, lay out your clothes and used to do like all this stuff, now annoys you about her. And you're like, oh, why doesn't she just leave me alone? She's so nosy. She's so this. You used to love it. When she used to rub that warm lotion on you and was there while you were taking a bath and would tell you stories. Now she comes into your room and you're like, why doesn't this lady leave, right? But that is not of God. You have to say, Lord, work inside of me so that I can appreciate the family, the husband, the wife, the people that you have given me. And say, instead of what are they doing, Lord, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to lay my life down so that they can be better. Amen?
So
Amen?
if you love somebody, if you love someone, learn to visit their world. Learn how to enjoy what they enjoy.
Yeah.
Other words, you can succeed in your business, you can succeed with your friends, but if you cannot succeed in your marriage, how could 2020 be the year of favor and inexplicable power of God in your life? How? You're gonna have to conquer your marriage too. It is much more important that you have joy and success in your marriage than in any other area of your life. You need to have a nest, a place where you can go and find rest and be able to lean on each other and enjoy each other. Join me in prayer. Will you stand up?